All right, and we're live. How's everyone doing? It is Jerome Parker, aka Master Shake here. So, I know it's been a while since I've streamed. A lot of things have gone on in the past 3 weeks. Most importantly, turns out that Treat Me at Home, my startup, is going to be featured in the next web conference, May 18th and 19th in Amsterdam. I've been extended free tickets. I'm getting a booth, and I'm part of the Boost program, which is allowing 100 startups um, who are looking to get investments up between 250 and 1 million, $250,000 and $1 million. So they're doing one-on-one investor matchmaking. I get a booth. There's going to be over 150 press outlets there. So this is a was obviously a it's obviously a huge opportunity and it's taking the bulk of my time. But I got all the preliminaries out the way, and now I'm back ready to do some code. So, as I said last time we left off, I'm pretty much finished with the intro to PHP um, video series. So now I am trying to transition over into HTML5 technologies. But before we do that, I want to take some of the stuff that we've learned thus far and just create a simple PHP application. So today, the application that I'm going to write with you guys is a simple Fibonacci application. So it's going to be a PHP script where you're going to ask the user to input a number, and it has to be greater than 0. And then when you give that number, it will calculate the Fibonacci sequence. And for those who do not know the Fibonacci sequence, it's 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 11, uh, or my bad, 13, and so on and so forth. So basically, it's the the number is the sum of the two numbers before it. So, and if the number is 0, it equals 1. If the number is 1, it equals 1. Otherwise, it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. See how that goes? So this is not going to be an optimized application. There's a lot of math behind why I can't do that in the short amount of time in which I have to do the stream. But anyway, and also I want to leave you guys some homework. So basically, long story short, we're going to keep asking the user to input a number, and it's going to calculate this series. If they put in a number that's less than 0, it needs to throw an error. Otherwise, keep asking them until the user puts in the letter Q. And if they put in the letter Q, then it stops the program. So let's get started. Let me switch over here. All right, I'm already logged into my virtual machine and I'm logged into my folder. So what I'm going to do is create a PHP script called Fibonacci. Not PHP. I think they spell Fibonacci. They spell Fibonacci. Anyway, it might be a typo, whatever. Fibonacci is pizza, born a long time ago. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to code out a skeleton of the workflow. So like I said, we're going to keep asking the user until the input is the letter Q. So that tells me off the bat that we're going to have some control logic in there, particularly a loop. And we don't know when this person is going to press Q in the program. So therefore, we want to put in a while loop. So I know two things. I know that there's going to be an input, and I know there's going to be a while loop. And since while loops are based on some truth condition, I'm also going to have an exit which equals false, or running. I'm gonna call it running and make it equal to true. So we have a blank input. We don't have that yet. We have a Boolean called running, and that we're going to initialize to true. And we're going to have this while loop that runs while running is equal to true. So I know I'm going to need to get input, and I'm also going to need to calculate fib input. So obviously I haven't written these functions yet, but we can tell already, got a crick in my neck. We can tell already what they're going to do. So the get input function is obviously going to prompt the user to put in some input, and it's going to set that input variable that we have uninitialized right here to whatever the user puts in for the input. And then we're going to calculate the Fibonacci sequence. So I know I'm going to need two public functions. Get input, public function, calculate fib input. So the get input, this one is easy. So PHP has a function called readLine, which takes in a prompt as a argument for the method function. So what readLine does is it prompts the user for some input given what you put in. So I'm just basically going to set, and then it returns the user input. So I'm going to set this input variable that I have equal to the readLine function, at prompting them to say, please input your number, or please input your number, or queue to quit. So now we have this input. So what is the first thing we need to do? I believe the first thing that we should do is check to see if Q is the input. And if it is the input, then we can quit the program. Now, sorry, I was hesitating because I was trying to decide would it be better to break within the function or to do it inside of the while loop, but I think I'm going to try it inside the function. So actually, you know what? No, I'm going to do it inside of the while loop, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the calculate fib function. So the Fibonacci sequence has two base cases. The first base case is if the number you're trying to calculate Fibonacci on is 0. And if the number is 0, then you always return 1. If the number is 1, the second base case is if the number is 1. If you're trying to find Fibonacci of 1, you also return 1. Otherwise, you're going to return a recursive sequence, a recursive function. So you're going to return Fibonacci in -1. So what that does is going to keep calling Fibonacci until you get a base case of one. Well, Fibonacci equals n plus n minus 1. Fibonacci n minus 1. So we're going to check here if input equals because we wanted to make sure that it's equal in type and value. My bad, 0. Actually, we can put it both in here. Or input. These two pipes right here, that is Boolean logic for or. So I'm saying if input is equal to 0 or if input is equal to 1. Do I have anybody in the chat? No? Okay. If it was 0 is equal to 1, return 1. Else, return input plus calculate fib input minus 1. Hold on one second for me. Notice I have to do something real quick. Sorry guys, bear with me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. It's not input plus calculate fib. It's Fibonacci n minus 2 plus Fibonacci n minus 1. So you're gonna you add it's produced by adding the following the last preceding two Fibonacci numbers. I'm over dropping stuff. I'll put this right there. I knew something looked wrong. I was like, what am I doing? That doesn't. All right. I'm really tired. It's 11 o'clock over here this way. Calculate fib input minus 1 plus calculate fib input minus 2. Okay. And that's going to take a number. Okay. And we can just do echo. Now, this is mostly complete. There is something that is missing. And what's missing is the error handling. So what if you put in a negative number? I mean, you can theoretically, no, you can't theoretically do negative Fibonacci. Not that, not unless there's some weird math theorem that I don't know about. So yeah, so if they input a negative number, it would crash. So we need to, before we do this first if, we need to do another if. So if input is less than 0, we need to throw a new exception. Input must be greater than 0. All right, cool. And that's going to change what we have up here. So what we're going to do is we have to put a try catch around everything in the while loop. So, and I just noticed too, I didn't even account for Q, so I gotta do that. So try catch exception E echo message get message. And if you guys remember, I'm doing some character escaping, variable escaping, and I'm just calling the exception get message function. And then right before here, so and I'm just put an else right here. So if input is less than 0, else if input equal to Q, and I'm gonna go ahead and count for uppercase Q2 just in case someone puts that. You want to just exit. All right, so this should be everything. Let's do a test run real quick. PHP Fibonacci. Unexpected public. Oh, I'm not doing it in the class. That just needs to be function. I believe that was what the error was. We'll find out in a second. Unexpected end of line of Fibonacci. Line 34. Alright, what's this? Line 34. Okay. Function, exception. I'm sure it has to be some with this exception. Curious. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so doing something wrong here. An exception, maybe it is. Yeah. Why, oh why is that giving me this error? So it's saying it's right in a line. Input is less than 0. Exception. Oh, I didn't close my quotation marks. There you go. All right, please enter a number. 3. Undefined variable input on line 8. Undefined variable input. Q. Line 8. What's line 8? Q. I think I need to pass this by reference or by value rather. Let's see. We shall see. Wait a minute, undefined. Oh. Wondering, cause I'm not using the closures. That don't really work. I'm sorry, guys. I talk out loud to myself whenever I code. Line 7. Why am I still getting that? Line 7. Whatever I should do a use statement. Use input. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's lots of closures. I'm tripping. I'm already doing something wrong. So I'm saying that input, there's no running. Delete. While running. equals try like that. See if that works. Let me clear the screen. All right, cool. Yeah, so I just have to initialize it. It's runtime error. All right, 3. Input must be greater than 0, and I put in a 3. All right, so something's wrong there. Input. I think I need to pass this by value instead of by reference. So in programming, when you input a value, by default you pass by value instead of passing by reference, which means basically you're making a copy of your variable before you pass it onto your function, and then from there, any operations made on that copy of the variable is not going to affect the original variable. So what we need to do is pass the variable by reference, which will actually modify the input going into the function. So I'm actually glad this happened because it was a good use case for that. So if I remember correctly, all you gotta do is just put an ampersand in front of the argument on the function call. We'll find out. PHP 3. All right. PHP 5 should be 8. Cool. All right, so that part's working. I'm going to add. A new line so we can see what's going on better. And then we're going to try that one more time. We're going to do clear. We're going to do PHP Fibonacci.php. Please enter a number. 4. Okay. 1, 1, 3, 5. Yep. 1 plus 1. 1, 1, and then 2. 1 plus 2, 2. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's right. Hold on. Fibonacci 0. Input must be greater than 0. Okay, well 0 is 0, so that's wrong. If input less than, okay. I don't know why it's doing that, but instead of spending all day trying to fix it, I'm going to adjust and just put if input is less than or equal to -1, and then try that again. Input must be greater than 0. I'm not understanding. What if I put in 1? But if I put in 2, I get 2. If I put in Q, then exit. So the exit part's right. So why am I getting this? Good debugging exercise. The input is less than or equal to 1. Just for debugging purposes, we're going to do a var dump on input, and then we're going to do an exit so we can see what's going on with the input variable. And I love var dump because it shows you everything about the object that you pass in the var dump. So it's really good for debugging. Alright, so we're gonna put in 0. Oh, because it's passed. Okay, so I need to parse it like an integer. So it's keeping it like a string. So why ain't this popping up? Okay, there we go. PHP parse int val. Alright, so we're going to do the int val command, which will evaluate whatever you pass in as an integer. So we're going to go back to less than 0, and we're going to do if int val is less than 0. Int val. And the reason why I don't just want to do int val across everything is because obviously we're looking for the Q's too. And alright, inval. Alright, let's see. That should work, but I've been saying that, so we'll see. So put in 0. Oh, forgot to get rid of the var dump. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as you can see, there it goes. Now what if we put in -1? Input must be greater than 0. Just because I am a nitpicker, I'll put in Q, and I'm gonna put in the new line here. So I can try that again. -23. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. There you have it. So that is the basic skeleton version. What I want you guys to do, your homework, is I want you to make some new exception child classes. I want you to make one for negative number exception, and I want you to that basically does the one that we just did, and then I want you to make an exception class for non-standard characters. So basically what I mean by that is you can accept any number greater than 0, or you can accept a lowercase or an uppercase q. So if it's not any of those, if it doesn't fit that criteria, you need to alert the user. Because right now, if I put in W, it says 1. Anything, any non-numerical input besides a single lowercase or capital case q is going to throw an error. So that being said, I really suggest that if you need help on that you look at my previous video where I discussed how to instantiate exception classes. I'm trying to get back to, there you go. How to instantiate classes. And I will put this up on GitHub later tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. But so I was saying earlier, this isn't the most code efficient way, and that's because the way that we are implementing Fibonacci using the recursive statement, even though it's intuitive from a mathematics standpoint, on a computer standpoint, anytime you make a recursive call, you're basically calling a new stack of commands, and you have to call every stack of commands before that. So with Fibonacci, you have to return Fibonacci n-2 plus Fibonacci n-1. So if you do Fibonacci of 10, you have to calculate Fibonacci of 9 and 8 and 7 and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, for small numbers, that's fine. But when you get to like Fibonacci 2000, we don't even have a computer in the world strong enough to compute that using a recursive algorithm. So it gets into different, math theories or whatever. But in any algorithm that you can do recursively, you can do what's called iteratively. So it's much easier for a computer, in the case of Fibonacci, to store the results of the last two Fibonacci calls, and then just add those two stored results together instead of calling Fibonacci every time. You twice actually every time you want to make one Fibonacci call. So that I'm going to also leave up to you for homework. Figure out if you can rewrite the Fibonacci sequence without using a recursive algorithm. But that's pretty much it. I really just wanted to get an app out showing you guys how to do Fibonacci, showing you guys how simple it is to write applications, showing you guys the read line command it's going to come in handy for console-based apps. And then my next video, I'm going to start the HTML5 series. Um, I just realized I was in the wrong scene, so you probably didn't hear anything I said. So I'm going to go to HTML5 afterwards, and then we're going to go through the process of making a website, doing some basic CSS and styling, and then some basic JavaScripting. And then we're going to move from there to calling your PHP codes from your JavaScript code, and that's going to bridge the back end language, which is PHP, with the front end language, which is JavaScript. And then after we get past that, we can move on to frameworks. And we're going to start off with the Laravel framework and really get into the nitty gritty of writing full scale web applications. So once again, guys, I really appreciate you guys following me, subscribing to me. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I have a blog, JyroneParker.com. I also have my startup that I mentioned earlier, Treat Me at Home. That is treatmeathome.online. Everything I do um, on my blog or my website is free. If you do want to delve deeper on one-on-one lessons in software programming, you can check out my Treat Me at Home link. It is treatmeathome.online/providers/mastershake08. But guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna try to do that HTML5 video this week if I can. If not, I'll do it next week. I'm trying to come up with a schedule. But I decided I think I'm gonna do 2 coding videos a week, and then I want to do an entrepreneur video once a week. I'm thinking freelance Fridays. I'm just talking about being a freelancer uh, on in other entrepreneur tips and tricks, I guess. But I'm still working that out. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Shout out to one of my subscribers, sent me an extensive email list of things he would like to see me do tutorials about. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to do that, my email is jyrone.parker@gmail.com. It's JYRONE .parker Well, all right, guys, I appreciate the love, and I will talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to follow me on social media at MasterShake08. That is MasterShake08. That they're on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, you name it. All right, guys, talk to you later.